and exponents. All right, when working with a power and or an exponent, you're talking about that little number that's written next to the base number. So let's talk about that. We have 3, let's say, raised to the second power. Now, kids always get this mixed up because they think that this means 3 times 2. No, because 3 times 2 equals 6. And you'll see why this doesn't work out. This power is telling you how many times to multiply this one number. So I need to multiply 2 3's together, just like that. 3 times 3 equals 9. So you can see we get 2 totally different answers here. That's why it's very important that you make sure you're not multiplying these 2 together. You're raising it to that power. Now what if you had something like 5 to the third power? Well, that's going to tell you to write it 5 times 5 times 5 times. That's all that means. Okay? 6 to the second power means 6 times 6. All right? Even if you had a variable, let's say x to the third power. X times x times x. All right? That's all that means, is to multiply those all the way out. When you go up by power, obviously your value is going to increase greatly. So make sure that you pay attention to how many times you need to raise that number. So let's try some problems. Let's say we have -6 raised to the third power. That's going to mean -6 times -6 times -6. All right, let's break this up. So let's do the first set first. 6 times 6 equals 36. A negative and a negative equal a positive. Now I'm going to multiply this by another -6. I'm going to bring this guy down. 36 times 6 is going to give me 216. A positive and a negative equal a negative. Let me give you a little cheater trick. If this value, if the exponent, power, whatever you want to call it, is odd, so if the power is odd, the answer will always be negative. If the power is even, like it's a 2, 4, 6, or 8, it's always going to be a positive answer. Just something to keep in mind. Okay? So if we had something like this, -10 squared. Well, that's going to be -10 times -10. All right, well, 10 times 10 is going to give you 100. And a negative times a negative is going to give you that positive. And again, it's because you have an even exponent. All right, let's try one with fractions. Fractions are always every student's best friend. So let's go ahead and get those out of the way too. We have 2/9 squared. So that means 2/9 times 2/9. Okay, and all we do with fractions is multiply straight across. Again, remember, you do not need common denominators when multiplying fractions. So 2 times 2 is going to give me 4. 9 times 9 is going to give me 81. And I cannot reduce this fraction down any farther. That's as far as it goes, so it's 4 over 81. Okay, if I have a number, let me say if I give this to you, I'm going to give you a number and I want you to find the power of its given base. So if I give you the number like 64, and what is the power of its base? Well, I'm going to tell you that the base I want you to use is 8. So how many 8s does it take to get to 64? If the base is 8, that means your large number is 8. How many powers is it going to take? It's going to take 2 powers. And that would be your answer, 8 squared. Try this one. If I give you the answer of 81, and I'm telling you to use the base of -3, how many -3's does it take to get to the answer of 81? So I know my answer is going to be negative 3 down here as the base. So what is my answer going to be up here? Well, I know 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Let's just start there. All right, so 3 times 3 is going to give me 9. 3 times 3 is going to give me 9. Multiply these together and I get 81. So I know that it's going to take 4 3s. There you go. And they already told me my base was negative, so this has to be negative. The only time that little rule works with the odd and evens is only for the exponents. This number can be negative no matter if it's odd or even. The base number does not matter. It's only with the little trick is only with the exponents. All right. So let's try doing one like this. So I'm going to write negative 5 3 times. Negative 5 times. Negative 5 times. Negative 5. All right. Here we go. 5 times 5 is 25. A negative and a negative equals a positive. Bring down your other negative 5. Just dropping this guy down. 25 times 5 is going to give me 125. And a positive and negative is a negative. Also, reminder, I had an odd here. That's where that trick works. This one here, they gave us the base, so we had to use the negative. This one here, we needed to find the answer for the powers. That's how that's a little different. Here we go. Let's try 3/4. Whoops. Let's really try that again. All right, 3/4. Oh, well, let's just let that guy go. 3/4 raised to the third power. 3/4 times 3/4 times 3/4. And again, don't matter about the denominators. These ones just happen to be all the same. So 3 times 3 is going to give me 9. 9 times 3 on the top is going to give me 27. 4 times 4 is going to give me 16. 16 times 4 is going to give me 64. And that's my final answer. All right, well, hopefully this helps you with your homework.